Here's the latest version of Signboard. Just wanted to walk through some of the quick features. This is just like a demo board here. But we have search. Works as you type. We have the labels picker here, so you can have labels. And you can set what these labels are in the label settings area. So I can say, you know, if I want one to be called blocked because something is not able to progress for some reason, I can come in here and say, oh, this one's blocked, and then be able to see which ones are just blocked. That could be, you know, maybe you assign it to a person. So let's say I go in here and I say, oh, I want to assign this all to Colin, and his favorite color is, you know, this weird green. And I could come in here and say, okay, this one's assigned to Colin. And so if I'm managing something or whatever, I can come in here and say, oh, look, this is all assigned to Colin. So that's kind of nice. The date picker is now available here right on the home screen, or the board view. And it's also, of course, still available in here, and so is labels. Everything still works as far as sorting, but it's much faster, you'll see. Also, you can see that there are multiple boards, so I can come in here and say, oh, I want to create a new board and call it test board. Choose it. Now I have a new one, and now it's in here, but I can go right back to Signboard, no problem. Very fast. Switching between them. Of course, there's still a dark mode. Some of the fixes that we have is that the date picker now follows the dark mode where it didn't before. Oops, there's a little bug. See that? A little bit of bug. That's why I'm showing this now. Also, when you're in this mode here, I don't know if you ever noticed, but if I was, you know, here is content and a list. Now this icon follows the dark mode where it didn't before. It was kind of not nice looking, but now it follows the dark mode. But if you don't like the themes that I've chosen, this dark mode's kind of opinionated because it's kind of green. There is the ability to change your colors. So let's say I go in here and say, you know, let me go back here and go to my test board and say, in my test board, I want to make this the light color a blue. Well, you can, as you choose a background color, it will automatically set all of the other colors for you. You know, there might be some finickiness in this, so if you see any finickiness in how it chooses, it's supposed to pick accessible colors. So if you pick a darker color, it should change most of the text to be a lighter color. And then so you can come in here and say, okay, that's that. Let me go to my dark theme, and I'm going to make that also blue, but I want it to be like a really dark blue down here. So then as I switch it, now I have that. So that's kind of nice. And then of course, if you don't like it and you're like, okay, I want to reset back to the default, you can. And then also, I'll have to move this up just slightly. You can see down here, you can this is per board, but you can apply it to all boards. So that's kind of nice. If you like a particular color scheme and you like it to be across all, you can do that. What's nice is, just for context, you know, if I come in here and I make this just a slightly different blue, if I'm going in between these, it's kind of nice to know which one I'm on. And this needs to be, you know, there still needs some work, but it's getting pretty close. I think that's the majority of the new features. Oh, one thing that I do when let's say I have a new project that I'm working on, or a task or whatever. Sometimes I keep notes in here, like I might make a notes section, and then I have a list, and I might say, okay, this project needs updating. Or let's say I'm on a phone call, and I'm taking out a note with a customer or something. I like to have the date of when I did it. This is when I did this. And then, you know, even if I'm back here, if I'm still let's say 3 days later I'm talking to them. I can do another one, a new note. So every time you click this new button, it will put the date and time onto a list item. And that's kind of nice because you can go back to this later. I like to put the next step there. That's a little tip too. I like to put the next step of the task right here at the top because it shows on the front thing. So call on Zoom. Let's say I have a call on Zoom with this project next. It's right there. I can set the due date, actually that's in the past. I can set the due date there. I can set my label. And so now I have a label. I need a call on Zoom, and I can sort by that. But I like to do this. Like you can notice that now it's a different minute. It'll be there. So just useful for me. So I put that in there. Something I forgot to mention, when you're in the card view, there is now a right arrow. I found it hard that if I had a lot of tasks, which I don't know if I have an example. Like, yeah, here's an example, right? If I'm all the way down here, these are all the different things I've added to Signboard. And I want to move this to the list that's on the right. It's a difficult move. And once you get like a board that has a lot of cards in it, it can get difficult. So I don't know if I'm going to change this or not, but this will just pop it over into the next one. And if it is in the rightmost list that you have, because you can make as many lists as you want, it'll turn into a left arrow and you can shove it back. So likely still some work to do there as well, but nice little convenience feature. I think that's about it for this version. I'm hoping that I'm just going to tighten up everything that you see here so it doesn't get too unwieldy. But that's Signboard.